In 2013, 23-year-old Staten Island man Paul Marquez posted an ad on Craigslist to sell his 2-month-old baby for $100 out of irritation. He tried to sell the baby who has asthma, because she was getting on his nerves. And he wanted to get back at the 19-year-old mother of the child. On Marquez's actual Craigslist ad it said, "I have a 2-month-old baby, she loves to play and have her little fun, but there's one problem. Doctors say she has asthma, and if she turns a certain way she can stop breathing." The Craigslist ad was flagged and removed, but the perseverant Marquez reposted the offer. Marquez told detectives he got bored, and wanted to get a little laugh and a little kick out of it, but nothing serious. He was apparently upset with the mother of the child, who wouldn't pay him more attention. So he posted the 2 ads as revenge. He said that she didn't have time for him because she was working all the time. For allegedly trying to sell the baby, he has been charged with endangering the welfare of a child, harassment and a social service violation. He was held on $1,000 bail. He was listed as having a lawyer with legal aid, who would not comment. The Craigslist killer Philip Markoff, an engaged pre-med student, grew up in New York where he excelled academically and participated in student groups and activities. He was arraigned on murder charges, related to the death of Jalissa Brisman on April 2009. Brisman was found murdered in the doorway of her Marriott hotel room, shot multiple times. She had placed an ad on Craigslist offering erotic massage services, and had scheduled an appointment to meet a man named Andy, at her hotel room. Markoff was also charged for 2 other assaults by victims, who had advertised erotic services online, which he also found on Craigslist. On April 10, 2009, 29-year-old Tricia Leffler, an escort, was gagged, bound, and robbed at gunpoint at a Westin hotel, by a man who had responded to an ad she placed on Craigslist. Police believe that Markoff was linked to the attempted robbery of Cynthia Melton, an exotic dancer offering lap dance services. Markoff committed suicide on August 2010, just 1 day after what would have been 1 year after his wedding anniversary, while serving a life sentence in prison. 24-year-old Catherine Ann Olson was a part-time nanny who frequently used Craigslist to get jobs. 19-year-old Michael John Anderson liked to play paintball, and wondered what it felt like to kill a person. He pretended to be a mother named Amy, then posted a Craigslist ad in 2007, looking for a person to babysit a child the following day. Olson responded to the ad for a babysitter on Craigslist. After arriving at the house, a rundown split level in Savage, Minnesota, Olson was greeted by Anderson, who led her up to his bedroom on the 2nd floor. He killed Ms. Olson with a caliber handgun, before dragging her body down the stairs and tying her up. Her body was discovered in the trunk of her car, abandoned in a park. In an attempt to destroy the evidence, Anderson crushed Olson's cell phone, and wrapped it up in a bloody towel before dropping it into a public trash can. He apparently didn't realize that the towel had his name, written on it in black marker. The police searched Anderson's home 5 blocks away, and found Olson's blood inside and a gun in his bedroom. Anderson claimed he was there during the slaying, but that the killer was a friend of his who thought it would be funny. He received mandatory life without parole sentence in 2009. Brogan Rafferty along with his mentor, Richard Beasley, placed ads on Craigslist seeking laborers to work on a fictitious Ohio ranch. The ad stated, "We need someone to watch our farm down in southern Ohio. Live for free in a double-wide trailer, nothing in the way of duties, except to take in the peacefulness of the countryside, and remark on the changing of the seasons, and make sure no one steals any farm equipment or perpetrates any mischief. The pay is $300 a week." But instead of offering employment, respondents were murdered and robbed. The duo snuffed out 3 job seekers, attempting to kill a 4th man who escaped. The men were arrested after he went to the police with the outrageous story. Despite claiming he was coerced, Brogan Rafferty was sentenced to life in prison, since he was a minor at the time of the killings. Richard Beasley, the mentor, was sentenced to death in April 2013 for the Craigslist murders. The death sentence was then postponed. In 2011, Hazel Park, Detroit teen Jonathan Clements, 19 years old, used Craigslist to advertise his need for a new mobile phone. He set up a meeting with 23-year-old Alexander Lyons at a public gas station for safety. But Lyons pretended to be lost though, and instead was directed to Clements' location, his aunt's house. Lyons shot the unsuspecting buyer in the chest, with a semi-automatic handgun. Clements died at the hospital during surgery. The new mobile phone was $95. Lyons has been charged with homicide, felony murder, and possession of a firearm during a commission of a felony. A life sentence was handed down to Lyons, and the accomplice who furnished the weapon was also charged with murder. On April 28, 2010, James Sanders was fatally shot in Edgewood, Washington, while showing a diamond ring that was listed for sale on Craigslist. 3 men and a woman went to Sanders' house, to inspect a diamond ring offered for sale on Craigslist. The suspects said by telephone, that the ring was for a Mother's Day gift for a mother-in-law. The family was detained. When the suspects started to beat one of the children, James Sanders intervened and was fatally shot. In 2011, all four were convicted of numerous crimes, including first-degree murder, and received sentences of 71 to 124 years in prison. The four suspects were held on $2 million bail. Karina Roberts listed baby clothing on the classified ad site. Heather contacted Karina, and the two quickly hit it off. Karina told Heather she was expecting twins, although had far more clothing than she needed, leading her to sell some of the unwanted items on the marketplace. In June 2009, 8-month pregnant Heather drove to Karina's home, where she lived with her 2 children and boyfriend of 5 years. Karina led the 21-year-old Heather to her bedroom to show her the clothing. Once inside the bedroom, Karina bludgeoned Heather to death with a collapsible baton, striking her over the back of the head no fewer than 20 times, and then removed a baby boy from her womb. The baby was not breathing. Karina rolled Heather's body up into a carpet, and hid it inside a crawlspace. She then grabbed the baby, crawled into the bathtub, turned on the water, and called her boyfriend, telling him she had given birth. Karina was brought to the hospital by her boyfriend. But the doctors revealed shocking news. She had never been pregnant. Heather and her baby both died. Karina Roberts received a sentence of life in prison with no chance of parole. During the investigation, it was revealed that Roberts had attempted the scheme previously without success. In 2005, Timothy McDarrah was the editor of a gossip column for Us Weekly, and before that, he'd spent more than 15 years as a columnist for the New York Post. In response to a Craigslist post offering New York's freshest, youngest girls, McDarrah said he wanted a white 14-year-old girl with a ponytail. The people behind the ad set him up in a chat room, with a 13-year-old named Julie. What he didn't know was that Julie was actually an FBI agent. After over 3 months of what was likely some very disturbing conversations, McDarrah agreed to meet with the girl. What happened next is exactly what you'd expect. The FBI arrested McDarrah on his way to meet Julie, and he received 72 months in jail. On June 2011, California man Michael Delgado called the maid he found on Craigslist. According to the 42-year-old maid that came to his home, she claimed to have been raped for over an hour, which led to false imprisonment, assault and rape charges against Delgado. Tried at the end of 2012, Delgado's jury ended in deadlock, failing to convict or acquit him on the 6 felony charges he faced. He will be retried on at least some of the charges. In 2007, Tamla Hutchins was lured into forced Craigslist prostitution, by pimping duo named Carlton Simons and Jeanette Reevy, for extra cash in Queens, New York. According to the case, the pair promised Tamla an opportunity to meet famous stars like Puff Diddy, and the rapper Lil Jon. Instead, she was forced to prostitute herself using Craigslist ads. Carlton Simons was sentenced to 6 years in prison.